The FDA continues to allow these drugs, such as OxyContin, to be manufactured and marketed and labeled as being effective for long-term chronic use. When the majority of scientists, clinicians around the country that work in this area really don't believe that anymore.
But yet the FDA, with the help of your committees, has approved opioid after opioid after opioid that are unproven for long-term use. Why is that?
The power of that advisory committee to do anything other than suggest is zero. The FDA makes a decision which is sometimes totally independent of any finding by the advisory committee, and that's a problem.
Right, the FDA is not required to follow the advice of its advisory committee, but it usually does. And it usually does, but occasionally it doesn't.
Are you able to do on the advisory committees what you thought you would be able to do when you joined?
I think we are. I mean, we provide our opinion, and I'll tell you there's a variety of opinions on all of these advisory committees, but I feel satisfied that they listen to me.
Well, I don't feel satisfied that they listen to the advisory committee, and I'm disappointed that I haven't been able to convince them using science as the basis to make further changes in the way that they regulate opioids.
They allow the labeling to say that these pills are safe and effective for long-term use. Couldn't they just change the labeling and say, you know, it's been indicated that perhaps they're not effective and safe for long-term use?
I happen to not agree that they're safe and effective to an individual. I don't think they are. But the FDA's assessment is that these drugs are safe and effective. That threshold has to change. We need to relook at it.
It would save lives.
It would definitely save lives. It would reduce promotion of the drug. I think that would be a very valid thing for them to be able to do.
Why doesn't the FDA do it?
I don't see the reason they couldn't do that, although I could see there'd be a lot of resistance. Certainly at the advisory committee level, not everybody agrees with that, and at the advocacy levels and the other constituencies, not everybody agrees with that. But they'd have to go back and reinvestigate the entire history of where we've gotten to today to try to redo that, unless they had somebody who was willing to take a stand and make an unpopular decision, which I don't see the FDA doing. There's pretty much no practical way to revisit this issue.